Welcome to Nick's Corner. I'm Nick, wearing my wizarding robe. We're in a corner. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about On South Mountain. This is a non-fiction book about the history and dark secrets of the Gaolers on South Mountain in the Valley, Nova Scotia. I don't know if you know much about it, but it is the most gruesome thing I've ever read. I've read a lot of books about murder and a lot of books about many other terrible acts that have happened. On South Mountain was very hard for me to read. I had to put it down a few times. It's about the abuse that has gone on inside that family for a couple centuries. Basically, since the expulsion of the Acadians, the Brits came in and put their own people in places where they wanted them, and in doing so, segregated people to the valley and the mountain. And so the mountain never really got to be a part of the valley, unfortunately. And in doing so, the church failed them, the community failed them, and then it all came to a head in the 1980s when some children came out about the abuses that were going on up on the mountain. There is signs of physical and sexual and mental abuse. Some of the people up there had zero education. Some of them were mute and deaf at the same time. And the way that people were treated there was very disgusting and very sad. Especially the way that people treat children in this book is very deprived. And I found it very difficult because they go through the court transcripts and they're asking these children to recount things that happened to them. And it's a very difficult thing to read. It was very scary, very sad, and I feel like justice still wasn't quite done because the longest that any of them was put in jail for was 7 years. And I feel like life in prison would not be long enough for some of these people. And the people in this were so matter of fact about it that they didn't care about what they were doing. And I'm almost certain that is because they were not educated and they were outcasted anyway. So if they're going to be bad, they're going to be bad, and they're just going to embrace it. And I feel like they really did that, and that was something that kind of made it hard to read, made it sad. If you don't mind something that's going to be gut wrenching and difficult to read but hard to put down, I would say pick it up. But if you're not interested in that, I definitely would not touch it because it is heavy. It's very heavy. Who was it? The Vancouver Sun said a terrible story, beautifully told. I don't even know if you could call it beautifully told. It's a terrible story. End of story. Just what happened in it is beyond disgusting. You can go and check out news clippings, I'm sure, of things that happened during this. All you gotta do is Google Goler Clan, Nova Scotia, and you will see. This book has a lot of information in it from the people who were directly involved. One thing I found that was really neat about it was my wife's grandfather was the initial reverend who went up and did investigations for the church in the 1960s. That was a very interesting thing to come across. And the book is really hard to put down once you get going because you want to get to the good stuff at the end where justice is served. Although I was quite disappointed in the justice that was given because I felt like justice wasn't given properly. Um, I would say that this book is easily a 4 out of 5, and the only thing keeping it from 5 out of 5 is just how graphic the details are inside the story. And yeah, it's one of those books that I think that if it's something that you're interested in, that you want to learn the history of it, go pick it up. It is very interesting, but it's also very sad and very disturbing. So there is that. Anyway, guys, that is everything for my review on South Mountain. I know it wasn't a whole lot, but I don't want to give away everything, and I don't want to discuss it all. But I just want to say that if you're interested in reading it, pick it up. It is a really, really well written book, and it is a page turner, but it is also very disturbing. Anyway, guys, you have yourselves a wonderful day, and you take care. See you next time. Bye.